Yeah, I know, guys. Doesn't look like Ben Affleck. Hey, what's happening? YouTubers are back with a brand new action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman based on his appearance in the upcoming Flash movie. Now, I just got this in at my local Macy's. It was inside the Toys R Us section, and I'm pretty sure they just put this out because they had every single figure in the wave. There was one Michael Keaton Batman left, but they had the two Bat Cycles. Unfortunately, no Batmobiles, but it's all good because hopefully I should have one arriving from Amazon. Hopefully being the operative word. Anyways, let's get started with the box art like we always do with the reviews. And in case you're wondering, this is the definitive Flash and Ezra Miller's universe because obviously it makes sense. It's part of the now defunct DCEU. That's why, in case you're wondering, on Michael Keaton's box, it said Multiverse because this is another variant of Batman in a different universe. Anyways, back to this box, you see the image artwork of Batman, and he doesn't look like Ben Affleck here, so he does look accurate to what we see on the box, but we'll get to that in a second here. Let's get Batman out of the box. All right, here's Batman out of the box. Let's take a look at his accessories first. So he comes with a DC base plate like you see with all McFarlane Toys figures. Got him. Now this figure does have an additional set of hands, so you see the fist hands here. The ones that are on the figure itself is the gripping hands for his Bat Cycle. And just like all DC Multiverse figures from McFarlane Toys, he comes with a data file card, so it's the same image artwork you saw on the back of the box. And on the back is the data file. Feel free to pause it if you want to go ahead and read it. All right, now let's take a look at the figure itself. And we'll get started with the head sculpt first. And yeah, I know, guys. Doesn't look like Ben Affleck. But I'm not going to completely shit this figure like some people do. There could be a few reasons why it looks like the way it does. Because, like, if you look in closely, I don't even think his pupils are painted, but obviously this looks nothing like Ben Affleck. And there's a few reasons, and I have talked to some people that have worked within the industry, and what they have told me is, could be a few reasons. One is the most likely thing is that he probably didn't sign off on his likeness or didn't approve. Another thing is it could have looked good in the digital render for the sculpting, but when it came out in plastic form, it came out like this. That could be another thing. I'm not going to completely get crap on the figure like other people do, but I get it, guys. I'm not going to be oblivious. This looks nothing like Ben Affleck. And that's no disrespect to the sculptor that worked this, because there's been cases where, the sculptors will have a digital render that looks fantastic, but when it comes out in plastic form, it doesn't look so good. Case in point, Mr. Paul Harding does a fantastic job sculpting figures. We saw what his Sabretooth looked like in the first appearance, and then we saw what happened was translated in plastic form. Didn't look quite as good. So yeah, that's one of my theories as to why this looks nothing like Ben Affleck. And it could also be that, they probably didn't sign off on it because even the digital render artwork looks nothing like him either. Not for nothing though, the head sculpt kind of reminds me of like a video game Batman, like something that we'd see in there. But yeah, it's not as good. And if we look in closely, I didn't even notice it till now. It looks like the paint work that I got on mine is slightly off-centered because you can see his lips is like off like that. And it should be in the middle, so damn, that's another issue I find with this. But don't worry, I have a kit bash idea I think that will save this figure. I'll get to that in a little bit, but first let's take a look at the rest of the figure. So it's the same type of like tack suit or tactical suit Batman we've seen before in the DCU or DCEU or whatever the hell they're calling it now. But I do like the tactical outfit look. It looks pretty cool. What's interesting though is in the trailer we saw it was more so of a blue and gray look, whereas this is more of a black and gray look. So I wonder if there's going to be a variant at some point, but I do like the tack suit armor on here. It looks pretty dope, and he is using the soft goods cape. I think this is probably shorter than the Keaton one, though. This is definitely a longer cape that's on the Keaton Batman, and I mean, that's true anyways, because we don't really see Batman draped with the cape with Ben Affleck's rendition of it. I did want to make mention, it's interesting that the utility belt is actually a part of the torso piece instead of the diaper piece. In most cases with McFarlane Toys Batman figures, the utility belt is molded or sculpted with the diaper piece. In this case, it's with the torso. It's pretty interesting to see. And then also I wanted to make mention, just like Keaton's Batman, the shoulder pads are glued onto the shoulder joint instead of the bicep like they've done in years past. So that's good to see. Now we're going to jump right into size comparisons. And first size comparison, here he is standing next to other live-action Batmans from McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. So this is where we're going to fix this head swap and make this figure redeemable. But now that I'm looking at it just off aesthetics, It's interesting to see how, like, in most recent times, the Batman suit is more like a tactical armor than like a normal suit like we saw with Michael Keaton's era. Let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer like this tactical look, like armor, or the Keaton style? And by the way, I know I'm not the first person to do this head swap, but I thought I would showcase it here because I think this will end up fixing what this looks like. I just want to show y'all something here. Don't adjust your sets. It's a couple headless Batman. But when I removed the heads, both of the head and the peg came out. So it should be an easy pop and swap from the Snyder Cut Justice League Batman suit head onto the new Flash version. And voila. There is Batman redeemed, because this looks more like Ben Affleck than the other one did. Now, the only thing, though, is you might have to repaint it just because, obviously, the grays don't match the black mask right here. But I don't know. I can definitely fix this in post-processing with the color, but that's the only thing, though. You have to have the previous version of Batman in order to fix this, because, honestly, this one is just not good. The more I look at it, you could make it work without having to repaint this, because if you look at his tactical armor, it's black, and it does match the mask that's on there right now from the Snyder Cut version. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And I wanted to do one more head swap, and this head sculpt is from the Dark Knight's Metal Batman. But I think this looks good as like a comic book Batman. I'm a huge fan of this head sculpt. It doesn't have a neck, but it does look pretty cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, so my real thoughts on the figure: it's okay, but it could have been better. I did see a review before I actually got this in hand, and I commented on the video that if this was just a regular Batman from like a comic book panel or something like that, it would be great as just a standalone Batman figure. But this is supposed to be Ben Affleck's Batman. And in my opinion, with all due respect as a sculptor, the execution wasn't there, because he looks nothing like Ben Affleck. And like I said, something might have been happened in production where it just didn't come out right, or the obvious one, maybe he didn't sign off in his likeness. However it shakes down, it's just that the head sculpt kind of ruins it for me. The redeeming quality, though, is the kit-bashing potential, because the rest of the figure looks great. You saw what the Snyder Cut Justice League head sculpt looked on there. It looked fantastic, in my opinion. The only problem is if you're new to the line and backtracking to pick up that figure, you're probably looking around $30 to $50 to pay for that. But let me know what you think in the comments below. YouTubers, sound off below. Will you be picking this up? And like always, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.